we've got brand new Avengers 4 details coming from a Thanos novel that just came out. It hints at some crazy stuff coming in the next Avengers film and the future of the MCU. We are breaking it all down. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Now, before we get into the story, I need to shout out Douglas Rotondi, who got the nerd card question correct from my Star Wars video from yesterday. You definitely know your stuff when it comes to Star Wars, so shout out to you, Douglas. We will do another nerd card question at the end of this video. And just one little quick aside from the video yesterday. I just wanted to be clear, guys. I'm not trying to dog on Mike Zero. I think Mike Zero is cool. I like a lot of his videos. The problem I have is when a lot of other news sites or journalists grab Mike Zero stuff, hide the fact that it's coming from Mike Zero, and then perpetuate it online as though it were actual news. As many of you said, when we watch Mike Zero videos, we know what we're getting into. We know what to expect, and it's cool. But it's not actually, news. It's not actually anything more than speculation. He doesn't have a source. There are no leaks, blah, blah, blah. And so I just wanted to set the record straight. I don't have a problem with Mike. I have a problem with when journalists grab his stuff and then call it actual journalism. It's not journalism. What the fuck is happening online right now? All right, so let's get into this news, though. This is hyper exciting, but it's gonna get real nerdy. So just hold on to your butts. Try to stay with me. Recently, Marvel put out its first novel that may or may not be canon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The novel, which is titled Thanos, Titan Consumed, all talks about the backstory for our favorite Titan, Thanos, the crazy guy that did the snap in Infinity War. You know who we're talking about. Now, as I said, it's sort of, we're getting conflicting reports here on whether or not this is actually tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The author has come out and said he worked closely with people at Marvel Studios to get a lot of stuff right. There were initial reports that it was directly tied into canon. Those were later refuted, so we're not exactly sure how this book ties into canon, but we are at least sure that some of the information here is going to hint at things to come in Avengers 4 and the future of the MCU. Now, you probably saw a lot of articles or videos pop up yesterday talking about an excerpt from this novel, which is actually at the end of the book, all with Thanos talking to a character called the Lore Speaker about the Infinity Stone. Quick shout out to Screen Rant. I believe they were the first ones that published articles about this excerpt. Obviously, a young Thanos learning about the Infinity Stones is a significant event for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We were all really interested to check this out. Here's what it said in this excerpt. "They are hidden, Thanos," the lore speaker said, as though badgering a child, "because they are too powerful, and because the Celestials and the others, the ones whom the Celestials fear, keep close watch on the stones from afar." The others? To whom the Celestials fear? What? Now, I want to be clear again. I'm not the first person to talk about this. A lot of people picked up on this excerpt and had different theories about it. Most notably, there was an episode of Nerdist News where they broke down how this could be related to a maybe new villain in Avengers 4, and they have some cool theories on who these others could be. Unfortunately, I think they're all completely wrong. It's not really Nerdist's fault. They're pretty nerdy, but their nerdy powers are just nothing compared to what we have over here at the Den of Nerds. Now, in the Nerds video, they talk about other cosmic entities, most notably Eternity, the Living Tribunal, and the One Above All. These are cosmic entities that on the surface exist higher on the cosmic totem pole than the Celestials themselves, and so logically, you could think that these are the cosmic entities that the Celestials fear. However, that's just simply not true. The Celestials have no reason to fear Eternity, the Living Tribunal, or the One Above All, because the Celestials are a completely natural occurrence to not only our universe, but every single universe in the Marvel multiverse. So because they're natural, because they just exist in this cosmic circle of life, so to speak, there's no reason for them to fear other natural cosmic entities that, by the way, have been checking things out for a long time. You would think if the Celestials were no good, they would all just be destroyed and banished by these other cosmic entities. But that's not what it says in this excerpt excerpt, that's not exactly what they are hinting at. Now, for my money, the only beings in Marvel Comics that could fit the bill for these others are actually the Beyonders. And as their name suggests, these are characters or entities that actually exist beyond everything we know to be in the Marvel multiverse. So if this is the Marvel multiverse, guys, like everything we know, everything that there is, beyond that are these characters called the Beyonders. The Beyonders are involved in every single iteration of Secret Wars in Marvel Comics, but most interesting, the newest version of Secret Wars, which was written by Jonathan Hickman, all had a massive event leading up to it in which the Beyonders were revealed to be big-time villains that were trying to destroy everything in the multiverse. It was called Convergence. There were all of these universes collapsing in on each other. It led to a point where Doctor Doom had to fight off the Beyonders, and he destroyed them and saved the multiverse by making a patchwork of different universes on a world called Battle World. This story, of course, is the new Secret Wars. Now, I definitely believe that Secret Wars, or a version of Secret Wars, is where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is headed. There was an interview with the Russo brothers where Joe Russo talked about films after Avengers 4, and he dropped the bomb, Secret Wars, and his brother gave this very coy and telling smile.
Interesting to do something like Secret Wars or...
What the hell did you just say?
This was something they had obviously talked about. This is something they'd obviously planned. And I think when you look at how much the Marvel Cinematic Universe is using Jonathan Hickman's stuff in its recent stories, it's not that much of a stretch to assume they will use the Beyonders as well and set them up for the main villains in Phase 4. Now, I know this is getting really nerdy, but just try to stay with me on this one. What I think is happening here is, if this toy leak was to be believed, you know, the one with Rocket and Thor, and that little line about new threats. Rocket joins a new team of Guardians against a new threat. If that is actually hinting at a storyline, I think it makes sense that the team of Guardians would not just be the Guardians of our galaxy or even our universe, but rather the Guardians of the Marvel multiverse, something much closer to the Exiles from Marvel Comics. Now, the way I think this will go down is that these new enemies might be sort of hinted at, perhaps set up for the future, and that's where the new team of Guardians is created after Avengers 4, but they will not be the main villains of Avengers 4. They're not going to take any time away from Thanos, versus the cosmic entities, versus the Avengers, essentially versus everything in our known universe. So, to bring all of this home, yes, the excerpt is a big deal. It does hint at something coming in Phase 4, and I think it doubles down on this idea of the cosmic entities coming after Thanos in Avengers 4. This is something the Russo brothers talked about. They said that Thanos knew he would be on the cosmic clock as soon as he began assembling the Infinity Gauntlet. And so I believe that, yes, the cosmic entities are going to show up, try to beat Thanos, and they will fail. This happened in the Infinity Gauntlet comic book as well. However, the line about the others is probably a hint at the Beyonders, which is probably a hint at what is coming after Avengers 4 in Phase 4 of the MCU. So what do you think about this news, guys? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Whatever your thoughts are about the others, the Celestials, and what Thanos is going to have to deal with in Avengers 4, let me know in the comment section below. And just as a small aside, if you're very interested in some of these theories that I've been talking about lately, you're going to love the new video series that I have coming out. I've been working really hard with Al Schuler on these videos, talking all about an Avengers 4 theory that sets up Phase 4 of the MCU, multiverse, Beyonders, Secret Wars. It's all on the way, and I'm going to explain how it's all going to go down. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to get all of those videos. Now let's check that nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the total gross that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has made in the box office? It's a really big number. What is that number? How much money has the MCU made in the box office? Answer that question in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.